Y'all, I received an email yesterday, and it was a black man expressing his disapproval with what I had to say about Will Smith and Chris Rock and the situation. He was telling me that, I should have condemned Will Smith. I should have condemned his actions. And I didn't do that, and therefore I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And see, here's the thing, man. I want people to understand. Even when I speak about celebrity things, celebrity happenings, celebrity events, it's not to speak to the celebrity aspect specifically. It's to speak to the coon within us, within our people, the behaviors that's taking place within us. Me condemning Will Smith isn't going to save Chris Rock from being slapped. It just doesn't happen like that. It don't work like that. And therefore, I can't necessarily condemn him. I can only speak to me not participating in expressing my frustration, anger, or whatever that way. That's all I can do. That's all I can do, realistically speaking. Right? I wouldn't have did it. That's me not necessarily condemning the behavior, but knowing it wouldn't be the way I would handle it, right? But what I will condemn and continue to condemn is black people's responses to things that happen with these celebrities. This is the reason I talk about celebrities. I have no direct interest in what celebrities are doing. It's what's happening around these celebrities, how black people are responding to what takes place with these celebrities that I have interest in. The cooning, the lack of solidarity, the lack of any type of code of standing together or anything like that. We don't do it. And now you got black people being so arrogant to sit here, and I saw I think it was a news broadcaster or somebody on a news show gonna say, I think it was a black woman in this position. She said, well, white folk need to sit this one out. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. White folk don't need to have an opinion about this. Because as you can see, the caves are running through here, giving their opinions, acting like they ain't never did shit, hit nobody, did anything like that. They get to do that, right? But what I'm going to tell black folk is that you need to understand the position you put these people in, because this is what we talk about over here. It's not always what the caves are doing, it's where black people got the caves in our minds, and therefore they're able to conduct themselves this way. You feel as though a black person, this black woman feel as though she can command the caves to be quiet. Ma'am, they don't care what you're talking about. Because you put them on that pedestal, they're not going to care what you're talking about. They don't care. Typically when black people tell the caves not to do something, they start doing it more. That's how it works. Because we only have power in our minds. We don't want power in actuality. We don't want power in reality, because if we did, we would do things that would show that we're practicing or even working out to create said power. We don't do that. And you can even use this as a gym example. Let's say you start out, your arms is weak and your legs is weak. Well, you're going to work out to make it stronger. Black people don't even want to work out to create power, because we're too busy seeking white acceptance. That will be a reoccurring theme on my videos. That will be a reoccurring theme on my live streams, because I don't think black people fully understand. And then we get into these positions where we talking about, well, white folk need to sit this out. You can't tell white folk to sit nothing out. You don't have the power to do so, because you're so inconsistent, because you're not unified, and because you're not codified in any type of way. Shout out and respect to Neely Fuller. You're not codified. We don't practice, staying together, staying on code as far as Will Smith is concerned. Again, I can say I disagree with how he conducted himself. I wouldn't conduct myself like that. But I'm not about to come out here and start talking that bullshit that everybody's talking. Respectability politics. They're going to start treating black people some type of way. Y'all know we did a whole live stream about that last week. Where we had to B123 the entire situation. The first time we talked about it, we just kikied and, you know, we just generally talked about it. But then the response, black people's response is what worries me, because that gives me a marker of where we are mentally. And we still weak as fuck. Weak as fuck. We want to turn this into a situation where we're talking about whether somebody's right or wrong. And that's not what this is about. This is celebrity at best. No, I mean, that ain't got nothing to really do with us like that. We don't care about that shit over here like that, right? But the response that black people have engaged in, a lot of black people with popular platforms that want to make it about whether it's black on black violence, want to make Will Smith the example, that's what we're against. That's what I condemn. Will Smith is one black man that did a thing. The fact that we are always so worried about being typecast by individual black people shows the amount of programming, the amount of institutionalizing that we've received in this country. Because we really believe that if we turn on Will, and if everybody say, well, Will Smith ain't shit, Will Smith should have never done that, then somehow the caves will see us doing that, and then we'll lift all of the racist practices in this country from the justice system all the way to the banks. They'll just lift all of that. If we just come out here and condemn him and talk about how wrong he is, somebody gonna pay you niggas some attention, and then racism just gonna end with that. That's the conversation that I'm having. To try to show black people that no, it don't work like this. It's never worked like this. Why the fuck are y'all still doing this? How is it possible that you're still playing this game? Where Will Smith can display an action or a negative behavior, if someone deems it to be negative, and then black people have to go and talk about how much they are different or how much they are opposed to that in hopes, because it's not that you're really opposed to it, it's in the hopes that white people will look at you in a preferential way. You want preferential treatment, and you think this is the way to get it. And it's not. It has never been, not one time. And our refusal to change our methods. This black man who emailed me and told me I was off base, he likes listening to my stuff, but he's not really with all that black shit. So many people that will tell me they're not with the black shit, but don't understand what I'm saying. Well, it's because you're not with the black shit. You're not with B123 shit, and thus everything I'm saying is gonna sound like, you know, a foreign fucking language to you. Because you're not with the black shit. And I'm talking about the black mind. I'm talking about black mental liberation, which I believe is the first step for any liberation to happen for our people. We must stop cooning first. I believe it. Don't care who agree with it. It is what it is. And I would argue with anybody. I would debate it with anyone and tell everybody I said it, okay? But if you're not with that black shit, then when you're listening, you're not going to hear what I'm really saying. You're not going to hear it. Surprising that one would even watch my stuff and they're not really with that black shit. But I mean, okay. Yeah. This is why you're not going to understand, though. Because you're not with that black shit. You're not with yourself, which means you can't be with us. So you're going to be confused. You're going to be confused. You're going to feel as though, you know, I should have said this, that, or the other. I should have condemned Will Smith. Well, no, you know, the white man and his mom and them going to do that already. They already taken his movies down. They doing all of that. You don't have to condemn Will Smith. You don't have to condemn nobody black. You don't gotta do that. I condemn niggas for cooning. I'm gonna do that. I don't care whether y'all niggas like me or not for that. I'm going to do that work. But what power do you niggas have that you condemning Will Smith means anything? What fantasy have you chalked up in your mind to where, well, yeah, I'm gonna come out here and say I'm against Will Smith and that's somehow gonna mean something? That don't mean shit for anybody. Doesn't mean anything for you. Doesn't mean anything for your people. Period. Doesn't mean anything because black people have to carry the whole fucking team. We have to carry the whole fucking group. Meanwhile, the caves, what they get to say? Man, that was my grandma and them. That was my grandpa and them. I ain't racist. I own slavery, man. Hell no, I ain't with that. I ain't with that. I'm different. They get to do that. Black folk want to be able to do that. But the way we go about it is not for me to just say, well, no, I wouldn't have did what Will Smith did. I wouldn't act like that. That's not enough. I got to come out here and castrate Will Smith. Full blown. And that's the only way that black people will, understand what's being said. I got to do all of that. I got to go in on this motherfucker. Off with his motherfucking head. Go in on him. Go in on his marriage. Go in on everything about him. Now we understand. We done said Will Smith a coon. He don't do anything as far as black people are concerned. He don't stand up for black people. In no militant way. And that's the only way I respect. And then again, that's just me. I'm not saying everybody got to feel like that. But I'm saying that's the only way I respect it. Is if it's militant. Okay? Either way. Because if you're not doing that. If you're not going in on Jada, going in on Will, going in on their marriage, going in on what he did, then somehow you missing the point. No, you niggas missing the point. You don't control where he make money at. So when they taking his movies off, his biopic or something like that, they taking that off, he had that in the works, they're punishing him for his behavior. They don't need you niggas for that. You think they do. And some of y'all, I understand clicks and views and you gotta say whatever you gotta do to get your little clicks and views off, but they don't need you for that. And that's what black people don't understand. You're not a group of people who are taken seriously because you focus on dumb shit. Because you're condemning Will Smith. You focused on the slap itself. And you don't know how to be like, well, yeah, he was wrong. I wouldn't do that shit, man. But hey, that's what he did. That's what he did. I wouldn't did it, but that's what he did. You don't know how to do that. So then you got to turn into the whole race thing. Because you got to prove to these caves that you ain't them. I condemn that. That behavior, that mindset, the fact that I even got people still telling me they're not with that black stuff and they black, I condemn that. That's more detrimental to us, to our community, to the mindset of our children, and anybody that's watching us. That's more detrimental to our image than Will Smith smacking that boy, smacking Chris Rock up at the Oscars. That's more detrimental. Because you can believe that they about to start disrespecting you more over that slap, but that's not real. That's not real at all. They have been not respecting you because you allow your militancy to be non-existent. It's non-existent so you can make sure that these people look at you in a favorable fashion. That's why they don't respect you. If you ask me. They don't respect you because you are a coward ass, hoe ass coon. That's why. Not the smack. That ain't it. That ain't had nothing to do with how they look at you. They knew who you was the morning before Will Smith even did this shit. That morning, they knew who you was. They knew who you was gonna be. They knew for a fact you was gonna wake up and another day of trying to prove to them that you're worth respect, dignity. Because that's what you've been doing since before I was even born. Respectability politics. That's all you niggas do. And they treating you the same way. It is only when you are militant that they have any respect for you whatsoever. Y'all ain't seen it yet. Y'all ain't realized it yet. But that's more so where I'm coming from. I don't give a fuck about Will Smith. Don't give a fuck about Chris Rock. I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. What concerns me is black people and the way we're responding to it. And how we're responding to it. And people emailing me confused, don't understand. If you don't understand anything, understand this. I'm B123. I'm a would-be pro-black man. And again, the reason I say would-be is because everybody has their different definitions of what pro-blackness is. I'm a pro-black man. Black first, second, and third. That's what I'm about. To reduce the coon rate and the coon events that take place amongst black people, and particularly on public scales, when they're on news, have these platforms where they're saying all this coon ass shit. That's what I'm against, because I know that is directly tied to how black people as a whole are treated and viewed. Imagine if they viewed us as militant. Imagine if they viewed us as pro-black. But we don't want them to view us as that. I wouldn't mind having that carried on me. I'll carry that for my people. Them niggas, man, they stay on some pro-black shit, man. They're always standing up for themselves. Oh, I'd love for that to be the new stereotype. Oh, make jokes about that. But that ain't it. I want to see that change. That's what my desire is for our people, is to see that part change. To where we condemn coon behaviors. We condemn anti-black behaviors. From our own, from the caves, from every goddamn body. We condemn that fucking bullshit. But instead, we condemn each other for actions. We propagate and propagandize ourselves. The caves don't really have to do it much anymore. We're going to do it for them. They on basically cruise control now, because black people are such mental slaves that they ain't really got to do no whole lot of work. They don't have to do that. For what? They'll just come out here and keep running the same, same tired narrative that they have been running. Black people will come out here and agree, well, they do have a point. You know how niggas are. They right about that. You niggas are shameless. You shameless. And the way you present yourself in front of these caves representing me, because to the caves, of course, black people are representations of each other. I'm ashamed. Because y'all coon is such a propensity, and don't nobody got an issue with it. And don't nobody want to be with that black stuff, even black people. So my condemnation will not be for Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. My condemnation will be for people like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who came out here with his respectability politics. My condemnation will be for Shannon Sharp, who came out here and gave his respectability politics. My condemnation will be for anybody that's coming out of their mouth acting like somehow we're about to start getting treated differently now that Will Smith smacked Chris Rock at the Oscars. And this is whether or not you believe it's real or fake or whatever the idea you have of it. It's watching the commentary, not the caves. We know, well, at least you should understand by now, the cave's gonna cave. Okay, we got niggas over here condemning it. Well, let me jump on the bandwagon while they running it. I mean, they running it heavy. So the caves are going to jump on the bandwagon and condemn the hell out of Will Smith, condemn Will Smith as a black man, not as an actor, because we know they don't condemn actors for their behavior. So, I mean, we should understand that by now. The condemnation isn't for Will Smith as an actor. The condemnation is for Will Smith as a black man. That's why the caves is going at his movie roles and things like that. They're going to strip him down, knock him down a peg. He's apologized several times. That shit don't matter. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything because he's a black man. We know the type of shit that let these white men get away with in Hollywood. Hollyweird, right? We know what they let them get away with. But black people won't put that into context. So when you're having these conversations, again, this is what I condemn, we're not having the conversations in full. We're not. We're not having a conversation in full. We are expecting from us to condemn the behavior when we don't. I mean, what the fuck can you do to Will Smith, really? You can't do anything to Will Smith. I'm not in a position to condemn him. I'm not in a position to tell him whether he was right or wrong. I'm only in a position to talk about how I would have conducted myself. That's the only position I'm in. We talking about, whether somebody hit somebody or not. I ain't another man at that. I ain't got no, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I condemn coon shit. And this is why y'all niggas don't like me as it is. But to say you're not on black stuff, you're not with all that black stuff, you don't need to be on my channels, period. Unless you own your way to being on that black stuff, or you're at least interested in being on that black stuff. If you're not on that black stuff, you're coming to my channel to just hear, whether it's celebrity gossip or whatever like that, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. I don't do this shit because it's popular. It's not. It's so not. It's not popular at all. We know what's popular, and that is black people out here cooning and black men and women hating each other, talking about goddamn relationships. We know what's popular. This ain't it. So that's all the fuck I wanted to say though, man. When that black man hit me up on this fucking message talking about how I didn't do what I was supposed to do, a lot of you motherfuckers need to start you a channel. Telling other people their perspectives or their vantage points or what they're supposed to be thinking, a lot of y'all need to just start you a channel. That way you can give your vantage point. That way you can give your perspective and you can cover whatever you feel is important. To me, what's important is getting black people to see, look in that mirror, see that coon in them, and seek to exercise that motherfucking coon up out of them. Like it's a fucking demon. It's a coon demon at this point. Exercise that motherfucker. Get him up out of you. That's what I'm doing here. That's my purpose. That's my mission. It is what it is. Get him up out of you. Because until that work is done, we will continue to see black people just get on TV, get on public platforms, and embarrass everybody. Well, those of us who are with all this so-called black stuff, it's an embarrassment when we see cooning like that. For us. Most of y'all, other black folk can relate to that shit. We not with that shit over here. Okay? It's sad that this is where we are. It's sad that the work that to be done is to convince black people that being pro-black is not a negative thing. It just is what it is. You call out lies. You don't let these motherfuckers convince you that this society is fair and balanced and equal. It's sad that black people don't want to do that work. And it's an inconvenience to black people to do that work or to be about their life. But that's what I'm on. What's going on with millionaires, rich people? Like, come on, man. We use those stories to frame other conversations that can come out of those things. But I mean, come on, man. Don't nobody give a fuck about that shit for real. I mean, we being real. Because I know the morning after Will Smith smacked the shit out of Chris Rock, or whether he smacked him for real or for fake or whatever the fuck y'all want to talk about, you still got your ass up and had to be at work at a certain time the next day. Your life went on. You continued on doing what you had to do to provide for your family. It's not that fucking serious. It's just not. It's really, really not. What's serious and what's very, very serious is the amount of coons out here. But y'all comment if you need to comment, like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe to my live channel as well. We're going to be going live at some point this week about comedians and what they should be allowed to say and not say. We're going to have a really nice, in-depth conversation about black comedians as we just opposed them to the cave comedians and how they get down and how they get busy. We'll be having a conversation based on that. So hopefully, if you're not subscribed to my live channel, go ahead and do that so you don't miss that. And y'all comment, let me know what y'all think. Shout out to E-Rob, y'all already know what the fuck it is. Black first, second, and third. And if you're not with that black stuff, and you're not ready to be with that black stuff, stay the fuck away from here.